Hey Insider, we've got a special guest joining us today who've recently graduated from our LMA course and she'll be sharing with us her experience on board this journey. So just want to say it's a pleasure to see you. Let's start with a quick introductory question. What's your name, where you're currently based, and what do you currently do?
Hello, Shine from Australia here. Victoria. Usually I'm in intuitive well-being. So I help take care of people in intuitive ways, natural therapies.
Oh, wow. So like spiritual sort of coach?
Yeah. So somehow when people come in, you read where they're at and they say what they maybe like to change. And then you intuitively are guided to bring them what they need. So sometimes it's a combination of massage, Reiki, e-candling, visualization, meditation.
Wow.
Yeah, Qigong, a few different things.
That's awesome. So just before we actually hit record a second ago, I was saying to you that I've been seeing you a lot in our private support group, taking action, being visible and so forth. And you're always with vibrant energy, I got to say. Amazing energy every time. But I suppose we're curious to know in terms of what was your life like in terms of what were some of the problems you were experiencing before the LMA course? How was it showing up in your life? And yeah, what made you eventually want to join?
Okay, so I found you, like many, by accident on looking up personal development courses and other motivational things on YouTube. So you connected that way. And life at the time, I'd been away and I was actually quite a glow and vibrant and full of life and very positive. And I was listening to my heart and inner wisdom for about a year. And then I came back. And then when I returned back home, I just noticed that family, friends, children, my son, everyone had just been squashed and changed and dimmed down. And it was like, something has to shift here. Something has to change. And also my son was really not himself. And I'm being very light on that. I'm being very light on that. And I'm glad I came back when I did. So it was just wonderful to find something that would reawaken myself for the personal development that I'd loved for so long, and I'd stopped doing it. And then I discovered you, and your heart spoke. Your heart speaks to hearts, and it lights hearts. So that's why, I'm here.
Right. So you was away, you said, and you came back?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Because I'm into well-being and spiritual guidance, I was guided by somebody very close to me. It was time to come back home. And then when I came back home, all the pieces had to be picked up and repaired.
Right. So basically that was where you were. And around that time, that's when you came across our work. Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. So I was trying to find ways to, I guess, once you come back and you find other people are not themselves anymore, and you want to raise people up, you want support for yourself as well. So finding RAC was the magnificent start, the opener, the part that turned my heart. And then the LMA, the following on, really created what I needed to open up.
Okay. So before, I suppose, taking that leap and joining us on board LMA, what were some of your doubts or fears you had about the course, and what ended up putting that to rest for you?
Look, I'm pretty optimistic most of the time. So I don't really have that many doubts or fears. I mean, often coming back from where I was, obviously financially, that was probably really the only thing, because the rest is you just put in, or you just say yes and you go for it as best you can at the time. I was ready. I was keen. I was definitely ready.
I can't fault your attitude. Very optimistic. Yes. So you were just like ready, and you're like, let me just give it a try. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how did you justify the financial investment? Because of course you're saying financially that was the one concern, but yeah.
Well, even just the because you had the complimentary 7 days or for the RAC, that was the invitation to open you up, to see the light, to want to go further, to continue on your path. Like you lit the spark, and I wanted to keep the fire going.
Right.
So that's why I chose to continue on. And when you do step into personal development, something is bound to change.
Mm.
And sometimes it's more impactful with other classes or workshops than others, but something always changes. And yeah, I was ready for change, and it took me on leaps and bounds in ways that, yeah, look at this, some magic's happened.
So it sounds like you were definitely well versed in this world already. So prior to LMA, what sort of personal development courses, what sort of work had you already gone through?
Okay, so when I was younger, I'd
Yeah.
definitely say Anthony Robbins.
Okay.
He
Nice.
really awakened the giant within. He was
Hmm.
magical. That was brilliant. That was in my personal training fitness days. As I got older, Bob Proctor, pretty
Right.
awesome. That was really brilliant journey as well. And I was studying fitness again at the same time.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I've done so many well-being workshops, guidance with angels, learning how to read different things, just crystals, cards,
Yeah.
well-being. I've done personal training. I've done lots of fitness, meditation, Louise Hay.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's when I came across LMA, and your heart was just there. That's what led me in. That's what invited me in. Like your advertisement or your invitation, when you were walking, I think, through an apartment, and you're sitting with your computer, and you were just talking to a being's heart,
Mm.
and whatever you said invited me in, and it welcomed me, and it was like, I'm going to be held, cared for, honored. I'm going to go through this. Yeah.
Okay. So prior to joining LMA, you had gone through basically the big names in the industry, went through their courses and so forth. And you're saying what resonated was, I suppose you felt welcomed in, and that's what made you want to check it out. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, because
And
I
yeah,
suppose
you
one of the things
have
I'll
an air
say,
of honesty.
okay, one of the things I'll say, Charlene, is it's the first time I think in a long time I've heard from a student that when they were presented LMA, they were just like, hell yes, let me just do it, right? Because normally people are like thinking about it and then just wondering. But it looks like you was kind of well versed already, and you had invested in yourself prior to this. So you just was like, you know what, let me just check it out. Okay. So you end up, of course, checking that out, and you end up joining us on board LMA. Initial
Yeah.
first impression wise, when you got started with week 1, week 2, and so forth, what made you feel the happiest or the most joyous about the decision you had made?
Giving myself the permission to say yes to doing things that make me so happy and peaceful. It's like we had the love of the LMA family. I had my accountability partner, and then I had my other Toma accountability partner. Blessings to everybody. And it just somehow, it just unlocked me. It opened me up to say yes to the greater side that wants to be open. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it just woke you up and wanted you to really open up that. Okay. So as you progressed in the LMA course, how did it, what sort of transformations or benefits did you begin to see in your life?
Okay, so instead of putting yourself last, you start putting yourself first. And all I know is that the transition became more peaceful. So Putting yourself first creates some sort of peace, and honoring. And I started stepping into artwork that created love. And that was one of the biggest, greatest gifts that I could receive. Wow. It's like reconnecting to a guidance or a higher energy or a spirit, whatever you want to call, a greater love, started to reawaken, because every step that we took during LMA unfolded a part of me or part of yourself. You got rid of your baggage, you shut loops, you said goodbye to the gray zone, you allowed more space to bring in a peace. I just say a peace.
Right.
And action. You know what the peace was? Action. Taking action. The greatest gift of all this is action. Like some of my videos are like action, action, action. What have I learned? Action. Love messages, basically. Right.
So action. So how did it basically help you to take action? Like what sort of, what did you experience?
What did I experience? Well, with some of the work we had to do, you have to write certain things down and how you want to be and how you want to project and your ultimate identity and who you want to be. Like that began to step forward. You started to live what you wrote. You started to, without practicing of the activities that put you through an emotional state that put you in another state of action. And it would just get me off my butt to do the things that my heart really wanted, which was to put out love messages. It's like I wanted to wake up in the morning and spring out of bed and share what I had. And it just began to happen. The love messages would just pop in and I just go do it. I go drive wherever I need to drive, put up a sign wherever I need to put up, pass on that love message that needs to be passed on. And wow, that's just what happened. It just keeps coming in and I'm allowing it in, where before I'd block it, I'd stop it, I'd block it. You're not allowed to do that. You can't have that much love and joy in your life. You can't. Yeah, I started to allow the love back in, really.
Wow. Actually, you have just reminded me. You actually did the photos with the street signs for the team and I, right?
Yes.
It was you, right? Yeah. I remember seeing this. I think it's like 2 months ago, and I was just like, wow, we've never had that before. That was the first. I mean, that took me by surprise. I was looking at that for ages. So you literally, what did you do? You drove to different places and you found the name of a street that was correlated to a team member, right?
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
What made you want to do that?
Kindness in the world. Sorry?
What made you want to do that?
The love that the LMA team bring to each of us, how you support us, how you go to our videos and comment and just put the, positive, loving energy that holds people to want to move forward, to step through their fear, to be greater. I just wanted to say thank you. Like all this love just fills me. It just fills me. And then it's to be shared and it's to be transferred from here to out into the physical, into a sign, into a message, I just wanted to say thank you. I just felt it and I wanted to share it. And that's how I love to exist.
Wow.
And you're bringing it forward and you're bringing it forward.
Well, your gift was amazing. I mean, we've never seen anything like it. So I appreciate the effort as well. Thanks so much. So talk about the LMA course in terms of as you began to, really go through the entire method and so forth, and you eventually got to the end. What would you say overall has just made you feel, the most joyous about this decision of joining us on board? What would you say has been the biggest benefit?
Just coming back to who you are, coming back to your heart, to the greatness that's in you. It's like coming back home. It's one of the most grandest experiences that you could ask for. and then to share it with everybody else. And each of your members and each of everyone that's in the family, bring that to everybody. They want everyone's soul to be heard and heart to be held. And coming back home, Tim, coming back home.
It's amazing. So you mentioned at the start when you had come back from your trip away that some of your loved ones were feeling down and so forth. I suppose what's unfolded in terms of that situation?
Oh, yeah, that is so wonderful. So wonderful. And my son wasn't very well. And since then, he's just turned around, just, started getting back into life, back into work, back into fitness, and even back into animals. It's like every single week, as I transform, as I change, as I grow, it's like it's, rubbing off, it's generating out, and he's just improved magnificently. I'm so grateful, because the most important thing to me in the world is my boy. And he's a young man too now. So that is the greatest gift, I would say, that, this has brought. That's and awesome. My friends that I, also the love messages came from one of my dearest friends, and she's like really short, and she's got 2 sets of twins, and she's a beautiful mom. And just to see the family put those love messages around their homes, just to see them lift and rise again is, that's awesome. A really great gift. It's worth every single second, every minute, every cent, every dollar. Yeah.
Okay.
And all the time. Yeah.
That's truly awesome to hear. Final question is this. Having now gone through this method and experienced it for yourself, what advice would you give to somebody who's watching you right now, Charlene, who's just heard your story, who's kind of sitting on the fence at the same time? They're not sure whether or not they should join or not. Having gone through this yourself, what advice would you give to this person who's watching right now?
If you're ready to change, just do it. If you're ready to change, you want to take the step, you want to feel supported, you want to be cared for, this is it. This is it. And you've got a heart that's going to hold your heart.